make a start place. Party people, good God, you could stay ready. Well, it's mass, 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 mass. Hands up in the air, baby man. Good God, you go say that crazy. Well, it's fat, 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 fat. Music from a jammo, and we still want more music from the inspector. And they jumping higher, whoa, whoa, whoa. Jump up, whoa, whoa, whoa. Jump up, whoa, whoa, whoa. Jump up, whoa, whoa, whoa. Jump up. Say who I rule this dance? J.A.B. Want them who I mash it down. All are we hey. Tell them who I rule this dance. J.A.B. Want them who I mash it down. All are we hey. Get up and dance. Get up and dance. Get up and dance. Trinidad, St. Lucia, Grenada, right now even in Jamaica. Well, it's mass, 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 mass. Thousands on the street reveling. Good God, that's the way we like it. So Lego, 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 Lego. Music from the flying cloud, and they still want more music from Sweetie and Mars. And they jumping higher, whoa, whoa, whoa. Jump up. Boy, 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 jump up. Boy, 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 jump up. Boy, 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 jump up. Who I rule this dance? J.A.B. Want them who I mash it down. All are we hey. Tell them who I rule this dance. J.A.B. Want them who I mash it down. All are we hey. Get up and dance. Get up and dance. Get up and dance. Do the back way wine, do the front way wine, do the side way wine, do the wine, do the wine, do the wine, do the wine, wine, do the back way wine, do the front way wine, do the side way wine, do the wine, do the wine, do the wine, do the wine, wine. Get something and behave, boy, grab something and get on, boy, grab something and behave, grab something and get on. Oh lumbe, 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 oh lumbe, oh lumbe, 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 oh lumbe. A lot of them try, but they fail, so they send up for the master. Well, it's mass, 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 mass. I love me reggae and me hip hop. Good God, give me soca non-stop. Well, it's fat, 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 fat. Music from the Arrow and the dance all while. Music from the Super Blue and the jumping higher. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jump up. Boy, boy, boy. Jump up. Boy, boy, boy. Jump up. Boy, boy, boy. Jump up. Who I rule this dance? J.A.B. boy. Want them who I mash it down. All are we hey. Boy, get up and dance. Get up and dance. Whoa, get up and dance. Get up and dance. Do the back way wine, do the front way wine, do the side way wine, do the wine, do the wine, do the wine, do the wine, wine, do the front way wine, do the back way wine, do the side way wine, do the wine, do the wine, do the wine, do the wine. Get something and behave, oh, grab something and get on, hey, grab something and behave, oh, grab something and get on, oh,
problem. In a party one night they want to solve them. Come up on the young man inside the hall. Tonight I ain't staying home at all. Then she started whining down on the ground, telling everybody she come for fun. So don't stop the music as long as you're in the party. I come in, I come in, I come in. As long as you're in the party, I come in, I come in, I come in. All you have to do is hold on and wine. You ain't leaving me behind. Make sure your body is in the line. So hold on and wine, 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 wine. It's going on 10 years now we together, and all the social function is on. When you come home tired and soaking wet, it's my night of treatment you have to get. But tonight is back and all in the dance. Just give me the music and let me prance. I don't care how you're feeling, as long as you're in this party. I come in, I come in, I come in. As long as you're in this party, I come in, I come in, I come in. All you have to do is hold on and wine. Make sure your body is in the line. So hold on and wine, 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 wine. Well, the DJ man cool up for a while and start coming down in rubber dub style. Though the music change, no one complaining. I could feel the pressure the young man digging. If you see Elaine in she miniskirt, and the way she whining to White Gilbert, jumping and shouting. As long as you're in the party, I come in, I come in, I come in. What you say? As long as you're in this party, I come in, I come in, I come in. All you have to do is hold on and wine. You ain't leaving me behind. Make sure your body is in the line. So hold on and wine, 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 wine.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The rest of the Eastern Caribbean, wherever you are locally, regionally, internationally, saying a special good night to each and every one of you. Hope that you've had a fabulous few days. We've been missing each other.
They shout out to me again. Cloud, we don't want you to stop singing. No, we love your rhythm and melody. And you're making us feel so happy because it's sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yes, indeed. We're going to get into the conversations in a short.
Yes, we really dig it. I say it nice, nice, nice.
See ya.
Please, oh God, oh stop.
You all see, I'm going to change my mic and now the thing have a song in different again.
Why the melody have to be so sweet and you can't resist fast. It's sweet. I say it nice, nice, nice. Please, oh God, oh stop it. Give us the music, yeah. We can't resist it. I say it's sweet, sweet, melody. Now get into we. Yes, we have never heard music with this chord.
Yeah, let me see if that change. Yeah, that has made a good change with it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is less. Yeah, I think a good day now, ain't it? Yeah, nice.
What a rhythm and melody, with all less than could mean to me. Now we all have our part to play. So I want you please come and join me, because it's sweet, sweet, sweet.
So yes,
We love it, we like your music.
yes, indeed, folks. It is time for talking points. No, let me grab my volume up. Nice. Yeah, I think a good day now.
Stop it, give us the music, yes, it's so crabby.
Yeah, I think so. We good to go there. Nice, beautiful. Saying a special good night to all of you joining us on the YouTube, all of you joining us on the Facebook as well.
I said,
It is carnival time in the Spice.
please, oh God,
But that tonight yeah, I think it's tonight is pre-day. I think yeah.
so crabby.
Yeah, Grenada special. We just have pre-day in the night. Yeah.
We love it, we can't resist it, yes, we want the music. Yes, your melody, now get into we, yes.
But quite a lot to speak about tonight, so we're gonna get into the discussion in a short while. Just making sure you get that opportunity to hit the like and share buttons. So make sure that you hit the like button. I'm sure I see Moko inside. Where's Chris London? Yeah. Yes, indeed, folks. Hit the like button, hit the share button, call a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Talking Points is on.
I love to see my people.
But only tonight. We're coming back next week, Wednesday. That's when I was supposed to come back. But you all see, all kind of thing happening. I can't say that I ain't coming. I had to do something, you understand?
Exciting because it's sweet, sweet, sweet. Look, we really love it. We like your music.
I ain't hit my magic number yet, so I can't start the conversation yet, you know, yeah.
Please,
I say tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Talking Points is on, eh?
yeah, music so crabby. Why your melody have
I take apart the studio, they make me put back the studio together to come on, you know.
I say it's nice.
I take apart a well cleaning and tuning and all kind of thing. Only make me put everything back together.
Music so crabby. I say it's sweet, sweet, sweet. Look, we really love it. We can't resist it. Yes, music so crabby. Yes, your melody. Now get into we. Yes.
And Dennis Baindor, you again, real Talking Points, man. So good night to our listeners out there in the US. Many of you are not able to make it home for the carnival season. Hopefully we will be seeing you in the Spice pretty soon. I have seen many of you in my sojourn around the town of St. George and so on. I did meet quite a few of you. Loyal listeners who are listening day and night.
To
Yeah.
this melody. And we're waiting for it patiently.
Yeah, because some people listening in the day and some people listening in the night. Yeah.
And let the music flow just so because it's sweet, sweet, sweet. Look, we really love it. We like your music, yes, we can.
So yes, indeed, remember to share the live, share the live.
So God is love it.
Share the YouTube link, share the Facebook link, share the live. Let folks know Talking Points is on.
Have
Just for tonight, we'll be back. I take a day out of my holidays, yeah? So we'll be back next week, Wednesday after tonight.
it nice, nice, nice.
But tonight we have a lot to speak about. I'm going to follow up on it next week again, but we have a lot to talk about tonight, yeah?
I say it's sweet, sweet, sweet. Look, we can't resist it. We want the music, yeah.
I always say if they had a groovy crumb when this man was singing you that win that groovy crumb year after year. Because that man sings songs like that. He sings songs like, I mean, definitely would have win the groovy, yeah? April Fletcher, good night to you. Joan Henry, Chris London. Carol Mitchell, I see you there. Sky, Janice Mitchell. Moko, I call you out already, you know, but I call you out again. Clive Raymond, good night to you. Monica Jeremiah, Gillian Williams, Maud Martin, yeah. Pastor Casimir, good night to you.
I know what I saw.
Kathleen Ledlow.
Show them.
Enid Dakota, good night to you. I see JC Sherry, Alcy Peters, Gemma Warwood, Anya James, Jefferson Hagley. I see you in the house, yeah. Dominic Antoine, Jocelyn Matheson, good night to all of you. The Geezer, good night to you, bro. Jocelyn Madison and Mr. and Mrs. Matheson out there in Karaoke. Good night to both of you. Mr. Handsome, good night to you. See, I had to pull your radio voice out tonight. At Will.i.am, Alan Jones, good night to you and Zoe and Michelle. Yolan Pariaga, Cicely Celestine. Charmaine Ragbasing, good night to you, my dear. Shema Jeremiah, I think I miss you in between there. You know, good night, my dear. Phyllis Mitchell, good night. Carol Belfon, I see Alice. My good friends at John's Unique over there in Karaoke. You're looking for a place to stay when you head to Karaoke? Head to John's Unique. Tell them Sheldon send you. The price is reasonable and the people nice. So reasonable price and the people nice. Faithlyn, Holly Douglas, Agnes Henry, Kathleen Ledlow, Alban, good night. Good night to you, Ranks and Claude, yeah? Ranks!
You should be around.
Carib Spice, good night to you. David Langclus, Vanessa Lalji, Mr. B, good night.
Woman in the gym, hold on to the man. As you turn your back, tell yourself he gone, he gone, he gone. Ryan gone, Born and gone.
Hey, cousin Caitlin, good night to you.
Leon gone.
Tesha, Olive, Wallan. I see Shelby, Roxy, good night. Hannah, I see Courtney, yeah, good night to all of you. Jillian, I see Cynthia B, all of you under the Facebook, good night to you. Watch if Carnival time only have one location, we could get all that kind of music, we good with that, you know. Yeah, it have a section of us. If you have one place on Juve morning or wherever and it's only that kind of music playing, we go line there. Yeah, just make a spot for us and play that kind of music, we go hang there. Not all of us like to hear the bang, 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 bang in we head, yeah? We want to come out too, but we can't always take that kind of thing. Make a big folks place. Not old, you know. Big folks place. Nice? Yeah. Yes, indeed, folks. A Spice Mass. Let me say goodnight to the people of Guelph. I know you have an honorable Alvin Dabrio supposed to have a jump up in Guelph tonight, yeah? So I know some of my Guelph people won't be on with me yet. They may view the program afterwards. And folks, remember, we need the donations, we need the donations, yeah? I think I saw 2 come in here. A total of 2 donations that came in. Yeah, 2 donations I saw coming on the app for the last 2 weeks. And I don't think it make $50. So those of you that can, whether it's 10, 20, 50, whatever you can, please donate. We do have the apps that we use to, 1, secure our stuff, 2, to procure our stuff. We need to pay for those apps, yeah, and they're due, so we need to pay for those things. those of you that passed by and dropped the little 5 and 10 and 20 by Cammy, we want to thank each and every one of you. Yes, we do receive it. Once it reach, Cammy does take she phone and call. Sometimes she call while holiday, sometimes she call as soon as holiday go. She take the phone and she call Mr. Scott. It have something here for you. When you're passing tongue, check me. Yeah? Good night to you, Camille Teresa Scott. Let me also say a special good night to Helen Marie. Well, I could call my good friend in Oshawa, but I know my good friend in Oshawa is here. So let me say good night to Oshawa. Pedro, good night to you, bro. As I said, we have quite a lot to speak about. I can't wait anymore, because the thing is, it could be carnival, everything, but you know what has happened. You understand? We could decide we go in and fete and all kind of thing, but to you, Irvin. Did I say good night to the geezer? Good night to the listener who I saw today that listens in Trinidad, he listens in Tobago, he listens in Grenada, wherever he is, he follows Talking Points.
We still need a brighter day when we done dance this soca. Our problems won't go away. National debt levy will still be here with me, and they might tell me next we're going to the IMF. Yes, we gotta think about the nation's future when the carnival over.
And you know what? Let's get into it. Yeah. Folks, several things have been happening over the past week, as you all would see. And you tend to notice one thing with the present administration. When it is a time when people's attention are placed elsewhere, that is the time they tend to do certain things. So, for instance, when they gave the license to Reno to do what they're doing up there in Woodford, they gazetted that. They made public that fact. They made that official during the Christmas season. So they did that right between Christmas and New Year, when they believed nobody would be paying attention. In fact, if I remember correctly, it was on not Boxing Day, Christmas Eve, that they published the first one. People studying family and all different things on Christmas Eve, but they didn't realize myself and Linda Straker, who has now gone to the Great Beyond. I still talk about Linda like if she's here. We, regardless of what, we read. So we read in the government gazette. The same government gazette, by the way, someone has made sure that we can now access it. But the same government gazette that they have been blocking us from getting now. So they've removed the website where the gazette was available for all to see, wherever part of the world you are. They've also removed it from a secondary website where they realized it was still available there. They took it off from there because they're trying to blind you to what they are really doing in this country. Yeah? They're trying to blind you to it. But they can't stop us. We will get the gazette, and we'll continue to get the gazette and allow. If it means we have to walk up to the complex, yeah, we'd do that. But somebody has made sure that we could get it digitally, so we wouldn't have to go through that. Nice? Great. So as we know, they tend to do things around times like this. So we're looking out to see what they try to slip through this week in the gazette when they think, I ain't drinking no alcohol, I ain't out there putting on oil, I ain't bathing in the oil. So I'll be paying attention to what is going on, because I recognize that after the carnival, there are parents that have to find the money to buy their school books and uniform. I see the faces of parents walking with their children. They can't even buy it, but they're just going with the children to price it. And some of you who are out there in the diaspora, those of you that are in Texas right now, Texas, I love you all. Those of you in New York, I love all of you, all of you. So those of you in North Carolina or Washington, those of you in Maryland, those of you out there in whichever part of New York, those of you in Florida, wherever you are the ones that are going to be receiving the calls, because the parents go in and price it. They can't buy it. So for your little nephew and niece, it's you that go in and call to send the money to them through MoneyGram and Western Union for them to go and buy the school books and the stationery and the uniform and so on. So expect the phone calls. I see them in town. They don't have the money to buy it. And it has been very silent right now. You're not hearing anything about a book program. You're not hearing anything about a voucher program. Very, very silent. It seems like though it's only good for certain people, because I know people that are very, very, very much in need. I know people who are very, very, very much in need. They speak to me daily. I see them and I meet them on the buses. I meet them in town. People that are in very, very serious need. And they ain't nothing. They say, but we ain't nothing from these people about the voucher program, so we don't know if we're getting voucher. Nothing has been said to them. And they are worried now about getting they're saying probably because they've given the VAT-free day, that government expects people to just go and buy the thing VAT-free day. So maybe that's why they're not giving voucher, or if they're giving voucher, they may have selected certain people using whatever criteria that doesn't include some of the people that are really in need, because if the criteria is, it's for people in need, I know many. I can count them on my hands, my toes, and about 200 other people hands and toes. We could count it like that and multiply it. I know many people who are in need and know nothing about any voucher program this year. They have not been contacted, they've not been given information regarding that. There are some people in some really desperate situations out there. Their child has passed for secondary school. They're so proud the child has passed for secondary school, and they don't know up to this point in time how they're going to provide for that child to go to secondary school. Some of them, they may be able to get some of the books and the stationery and that kind of thing together, and after they've done that, the next problem now is being able to send that child to school on a daily basis. People who, by right, should have been on a program like the SEED and are not being given the opportunity to go onto the SEED program. Because you have people within the system that looking at people, that's INNP, we ain't bothering with them, saying it outright, you're supporting the wrong party. There are people telling people those kind of things out there in some of those offices. So this is the reality of what is going on in our country right now. But as I said, we into Spice Mass. A lot of this I'm going to be getting back into next week, because I'll be doing programs, God's willing, next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll be doing programs. Yeah? And I'll be getting back into a lot of these things, but we into the carnival season. Look, I saw some nonsense today. Let me show you all something here. I saw some nonsense taking place today, and I had to hold my head and say, well, my goodness, what madness is this? So I'm going to show you a photo of an extremely beautiful young lady. And what I'm saying, please, has nothing to do with this extremely beautiful young lady that I'm going to show you all. Yeah? Now, you all see this billboard that is there. This billboard is in regard to the National Carnival Queen Show that is taking place tomorrow. Today is August the 5th. This says clearly August the 6th at the National Cricket Stadium, 8 p.m. This billboard, from the information that I have, cost $3,142 and roughly 86 cents US, roughly around that. In other words, this billboard cost in EC a little over $8,493. or thereabouts. Yeah? 7 billboards were done by the Spice Mass Corporation. 7 billboards. Yeah? Were done. Costing $22,000 to do these 7 billboards. Let me repeat. These billboards were done, and these billboards cost $22,000 for 7 billboards. And would you guess that this billboard was only put up today? When is the Queen Show taking place? 9 3 weeks, 9 2 weeks, 9 a month, you know. The Queen Show, so they spent over $8,000 to put up a billboard for one day. These ladies deserve better than that. They nearly spend more than the, I'm sure that, I wonder how much is the price, the first price for Queen Show. They could have taken that money and give the girls. They could have taken that money, Spice Mass, or they could have taken that money and give the girls. $22,000. And the other thing is this. They could have get those billboards cheaper right here in Grenada. They didn't have to go to Trinidad and spend $22. All they want to know who? All they want to know who they buy it from in Trinidad? Let them tell me that I lie. We go present the invoice. They forget where I went to school and where I was born. I have friends in high and low places. Yeah? So let us say that I lie. Why was it necessary for Spice Mass to spend all that money, $22,000 for 7 billboards to put up in the different areas that the queens are coming from? You know, one in Carriacou, one in St. Patrick, one in St. Andrew, St. Mark, St. John, St. George, St. David. Yeah? To put up those billboards. So you spend US $22,000 for the billboards. Then after you spend that $22,000 US for the billboards, you still have to pay somebody to go and put up those billboards in a different place. So the man in hot sun today, this evening, Queen Show is tomorrow. Man in hot sun putting up the $8,000 billboards that you have to pay them for. So could be over $10,000 for the billboard at the end of the day. Yeah? We ain't saying that the ladies ain't beautiful. Beautiful young ladies. I wish all of them well. I wish all of them well. I wish they have the most wonderful Queen Show ever. But that is stupidness. That is high class stupidness. Yeah? How could they do that? Better they take that money, split it, and just give each of the young ladies that $8,000 or $10,000. Give each of them the $10,000 and say, put that towards your presentation. Put that towards your gong and your this and that. Better they take that money and give them. What happened to all in Spice Mass? The money burning all your hand? How could you all do something like that? And then, to make matters worse, these billboards could have been obtained in Grenada much cheaper. You have Abstract Graphics and Designs. You have the chap that's in Woodlands there. You have Samir, trying to remember the name of his company. And several others that could have done that for a fraction of the cost that they paid for it from Trinidad. And then you have to ship it up to Grenada. To the point of where you could only be putting them up the day before Queen Show. Man, anyway. E-up. That mean E-up entered. That is it. It up. It up. Well, I go say we shouldn't say anything about it. It up. No, we don't do a lock already. No, I ain't taking calls yet. I'll tell you we're not taking calls, man. I ain't taking calls yet. Yeah, we'll take calls in a timing. You understand? Yeah, we'll take calls in that timing. We ain't taking calls yet. But tell me if you all, any of you find that make sense? Spend $22,000 US for 7 billboards that you put up the day before the competition. And the people who put it up ain't putting it up for free. Because see who some of them people is. They ain't putting that up for free. They have to be paid. So there's that additional cost there. Billboards that you could have obtained in Grenada a month ago for way cheaper. You could have gotten the billboards in Grenada for way cheaper. There was no necessity to do that. But say what? They in charge. Yeah? So you have that nonsense taking place. you still have the nonsense that's taking place with the Marketing and National Importing Board. Now, the thing is, officially, we're not really supposed to have a Marketing and National Importing Board in it. That's supposed to be wrapped up and so, but you still have the facilities there, and some farmers are providing goods to the facilities and that. When the people get their check now, how could a man go with a check for $200 from the Marketing and National Importing Board, go to cash the check at the bank and the check bounce from the Marketing and National Importing Board? What really going on with all you? Because I remember we heard we were supposed to get a new marketing board in 2024, then it went to 2025, then it reached to 2026. We don't know if it's going on, which we might get a new marketing board at the same time that we get Polaris. That is when we might get a new Marketing and National Importing Board. We might get that when we get the Polaris. Or the poor at risk. How could that be happening? How could the Marketing and National... This is not an individual that in monitoring the checking account properly and go over a bit, you know. This is the Marketing and National Importing Board, where, considering what you all claimed was some of the problems with the marketing board, you all were supposed to make sure that proper accounting is taking place there right now. So you give us a farmer's check, and not one farmer talking about, you know. Farmers are lie. Because you know they like to say that we lie. Farmers are lie. Show them some bounce check and thing. Tell them if I lie. That you have a set of bounce checks now from the Marketing and National Importing Board. Only thing is one thing that going on right now as the carnival going on is one thing that going on. Look at the madness that's taking place in the south of the island. Let me just warn those of you that coming in and those of you that here. If you have no reason to be down in the south of the island, don't come. Yeah? You know they have a song, "Hey girl, don't go down there." Yeah, you go lie down in poverty. Don't go down in the south of the island if you don't have to go. Because this brilliant administration decided that it is when the 4 and 5 plane loader people coming in and the normal people who working in the south and had to come down and the people who living in the south and the time of month when they have to go up to town to pay their bills, this brilliant group of individuals that we have in office right now decide that is the best time to patch the road. Best time they choose to patch the road. So here it is. You're in the middle of the day. Flights coming in. People trying to get to where they're going up on the west coast, different things like that. And this is the point in time that you have traffic blocked because they're trying to patch a piece of road now. Like the piece of road couldn't patch last week. He couldn't patch the week before that. He couldn't patch the week before that. It's only now, when the place jam up, that these brilliant people decide to have people out with bucket of tar and spade and thing, because apparently the pothole truck is too good to bring to the south of the island to make sure that things can be done quickly and efficiently. Apparently, it is way too good to bring to the south of the island. Yeah? So because they're trying to save themselves in St. David, best they just park the pothole truck in the Prime Minister constituency office yard, because it ain't leaving St. David. Yeah? So all of these nonsense you have taking place. Look, I feel it for the people of Carriacou. Now, those of you that know Carriacou Regatta has been something that is in existence. In fact, nearly everybody in Carriacou, the oldest people will tell you, it's as old as they remember. Yeah, so Carriacou Regatta has been around for many decades. Yeah? In fact, if I remember correctly, it's the oldest continuous regatta in this side of the Caribbean. Yeah? Maybe even the hemisphere. But the oldest regatta in these parts. The Carriacou Regatta. And Carriacou Regatta this year, There's no other word to call it but a failure. I will leave the Carriacou people to call in a time and talk about it. But Carriacou Regatta was nothing more than a failure. And look, somebody telling me they done have the workers out there and they still can't pay them. The ones with the bucket of tar and so on that they have out. Yes. No, they have machine now. They want to frustrate these people so the people will leave the work so then the machine could do all the work. What you do when you mechanize a particular area is that you retrain people that they carry out another function. But not in Grenada. These people bring in machinery to take over particular categories of jobs and do no retraining. So they basically make people redundant. And as they say redundant, I have to talk about some other redundant thing and so on. So you hear what's going on with Spice Mass and then billboard. You all know I'm talking the truth. You all saw those billboards just suddenly pop up today in your areas. So you all know that what I'm saying is the truth. You all know that it's the truth. And the farmers who are listening, they know what I'm saying with the Marketing and National Importing Board is the truth as well. But then we even have bigger fish than that to fry. And we lucky we have fish now because, you know what had happened with the US and us and fish. And we have to ask ourselves, what is the sin that Grenada has committed that we have found ourselves in this unfortunate situation where one after the other we find ourselves ending up in problems? Yeah, we find ourselves ending up in problems when it comes to things like for instance, the visa. Now, and let me say this for you all there. If you are a Grenadian citizen and you require a US visa, you better have 20,000 US put aside before you attempt to go for that visa. Before you do your application, make sure you have 20,000 US dollars put aside. Money that you will not need for at least a half a year. Because it's going to take 5 to 6 months sometime for you to get back the money. So make sure that you have, they're basically saying, don't come. That is what the US is saying to us now. They're saying to Grenadians, hey, all you stay in all your place, don't come here. That is the present situation that we find ourselves in. A situation that Grenada was never in. No other country in the Caribbean had an E2 visa. The E2 was an economic visa. It's a visa that allows Grenadians to be able to get a certain status in the United States if they're setting up a business in the United States, or to conduct a certain type of business in the United States. Other countries in the Caribbean don't have it. Grenada alone had. That was because Grenada held favored status with the United States. And with the exception of a brief period of revolutionary fervor, we've generally, and even during that period, we've generally had a good relationship with the United States. But now we found ourselves somehow in the bad books. I wonder why. We have now found ourselves in the bad books of the United States. Because I'm trying to understand how all of a sudden we are being hit with all these things one after the other. First of all, we had there was the request for us to take early up in the present administration in the US. There was the request from Grenada to take on board these third-party deportees. They use all kind of fancy words, deportees. These third-party country deportees, people who are not Grenadian, they're from some other country, and they're saying you want to send them to Grenada. We had quite a few of that. The thing taking place with that, where the US said to us, take that. Then it was Grenada, you all need to get rid of the Cubans within your healthcare system, or you all need to make another arrangement with them. At which point in time, certain government ministers went shooting off their mouth, and then all of us, they pay for it. Yes, we know that Mr. Cornwall and others. They're not saying who the others within the administration. They may not be at the level of minister, but there are definitely some other senior people within the government that have lost their US visas that we are not being told about. That is happening. So we have to ask ourselves now, what is the situation? What has Grenada done that put us in this situation? You're not hearing it happening with St. Vincent. You're not hearing this happening with St. Lucia. You're hearing some of it with Dominica and Antigua. So Grenada, together with Dominica and Antigua, have been placed in a particular bracket. And a lot of pressure is being brought to bear on us. And I'm saying, with a new National Party administration, you would have the competent people who are able to properly engage with the United States to deal with these issues. You would not have the kind... I mean, look who we have as a Minister of Foreign Affairs. Can't even win your own seat again, but anyhow, that's another story. I was listening to GBN News tonight, you know, and I heard this particular one. Somebody was brave enough to went and ask a question.
This time we get into the very first local segment with Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell shedding light on several ongoing negotiations with the United States. That's including the closure of the U.S. Embassy in Grenada and the status of the U.S. visa bonds. Reporter Deidre Seeley has more.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell confirmed that he has been formally notified by the United States Embassy in Bridgetown that the U.S. is considering closing its diplomatic outpost in Grenada. Speaking with GBN following Wednesday's post-cabinet briefing, he said the closure, a cost-cutting measure, has been on the cards since the new U.S. administration took office. Mitchell said government is engaging its American counterparts with the hope that the embassy will remain open.
We are remaining in touch with our counterparts in the United States. I think from our prospects, we probably prefer to not see it happen, particularly because we have a significant American citizens on the island, and particularly when it comes to consular services. Obviously, it's a lot more convenient for them to be here rather than in Barbados. But obviously, those are not decisions that we can make. We will do our best to see how we can influence it.
He explained that the matter is still under consideration, adding that the public will be notified when the U.S. reaches a decision. Should the embassy be closed, Mitchell said the government will seek to assist in the transition to support Grenadians and American citizens in the country. The Prime Minister also said that the government has been in talks with the United States regarding its visa bonds. The visa bond program was made permanent this week, with the maximum bond raised to $20,000 as part of measures to reduce illegal migration to the United States. Mitchell acknowledged that the measure poses challenges to Grenadians visiting the U.S. for medical care or tourism. He revealed that he recently wrote to the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, seeking the reconsideration of the measure.
I wrote to the Secretary of State myself, requesting that this is to be reviewed and reconsidered. We believe Grenada has a very strong case for demonstrating that our citizens who travel to the United States are generally in compliance with U.S. immigration law. We believe, I stand corrected, but I think the latest stats we saw in terms of the potential overstay of persons who have B1 and B2 visas is 1.77%. I mean, less than 2%, which is virtually negligible. But we do recognize that at the end of the day, as immigration policy is obviously for the U.S. government, and they've articulated the significant challenges they've had with illegal immigration.
The Prime Minister also revealed that the Office of the Attorney General and the U.S. State Department have been negotiating a third country migrant agreement following the signing of a non-binding Memorandum of Understanding. The MOU was circulated in January, outlining broad parameters for both parties. The Attorney General is expected to provide further details on the status of any legally binding agreement at a later date. Deidre Seeley, GBN News.
Oh goodness, look who we are negotiating. The woman that has lose all them cases, the woman we have going to negotiate for us, you know, in relation to how they're going to send these deportees to Grenada, you know. The woman that went and she lose the case against the, first she lose the case against the Carriacou people. Then they lose the case against the CJs. And they've lost a couple cases after that as well. Yeah, the lady that losing all the cases. And now we're going and end up with an even bigger case in the hands of the same incompetent Attorney General. These people are incompetent. And we are going to find ourselves embroiled in a multi-billion, they talk $1 million or $1 million here, $1 billion lawsuit because of the actions of this administration. But we're going to get into GPG just now. We had to finish on the US first. Because I was so surprised. Well, I really should not have been surprised, but I was so surprised when I was going over online and I'm seeing there quite a few of the NDC activists saying, well, so what if the US closes its embassy in Grenada? That don't doing nothing. Listen, the fact that we have the SGU in Grenada was one of the factors that was used by the US administration back in 1983 for what they did. The fact that we had SGU here, they come in to rescue the students. Yeah? They have an embassy here that provides service to those students. Whether it's a much hundred or a couple thousand of them, it provides services to them. Passport services and other services that these students need from time to time. They don't have to take a flight from Grenada and fly to Barbados to do it. They just go down in Lansapine and do what they have to do. That is why that embassy is there. The mere fact that the US decides that with all of these people here in Grenada, you have the Grenadians who also have US citizenship that utilize that facility. I know of Grenadians that utilize that facility. Yeah? Those who have full US citizenship, some of them have green card, they utilize that facility. As well as US citizens who are in Grenada utilize the facility. It's not a place that just there and nobody don't using it and nobody don't go in there. It has a use. And now you are creating a situation that's going to create an additional financial burden on those people who are considering studying in Grenada at SGU, which incidentally provides a significant portion of the money towards our gross domestic product on a yearly basis. Is a lot of money that SGU. Consider the students, the school itself, the students. When the students go into the shops, the supermarkets, Rams and bulk buy and CJ's, where's the name of the place again? Independence agencies and all of these supermarkets, CKs and all these supermarkets, the gas stations, the banks, everybody. The students bring in a significant amount of money into the Grenadian economy. And the embassy being here provides access to a facility that they would otherwise have to go and spend money to go in Barbados to go and access. So you understand the importance of having the embassy here. So for the US to decide they're pulling it out, it has to be something bigger than that. But you have to remember, the Prime Minister here now, that they're moving the embassy, he hear about the visa bond now. So he now write Marco Rubio. But when Marco Rubio and them write him and ask him to put the radar here, they could respond to them. When they write them and they ask them about taking non-Grenadian deportees in Grenada, they take months before they write Marco and them. So how you feel Marco and them going and treat them now? How do you feel Marco Rubio and the Trump administration is going to be treating Grenadian administration, the NDC administration, how they're going to be treating them now? When they wanted to talk to you and they sent military personnel down here to Grenada, you as Minister of National Security, you as Prime Minister, made sure that you as far away as you could get, you went in Africa. On the 2 occasions they sent senior people into the island to meet with you, you absented yourself. And now you're writing them? You think they're bothering with you? You think they had time with you? You think they're interested in anything you had to say? And I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I believe there are other measures that are coming that's going to affect Grenada in a negative way. Because you think of it. You know what this means now for their children in Grenada? That you know there are medical missions that come down from the United States and they treat children in Grenada, children with heart conditions, children who may have different types of cancer, children who may have a birth deformity and so on. They come down to Grenada and they treat them. After they do that, then they say, here's what, we will bring you up to the United States. So they organize, and usually these people get visas easily so that the child and the parents or the child and whoever could go up to the States, get their treatment and so on. All you realize that done, right? All you realize that gone. That's not a possibility again. You all realize that we have to deal with that here or regionally if we can. And that the free service that the children who have the heart problem, who have the cancer, or who have the birth deformity, the treatment that these children would have been able to go to the United States to get, that they can't go and get it again. That done. Even some who are adults, and usually you have a little medical problem, you say, well, look, I know it have a specialist place for that in the States, and you get your visa and you're gone. Those days are over. If you have your visa, you might be lucky to be able to get to go. But outside of that, those days are done. You ain't going to go. And that's just the situation that we have found ourselves in. And it is not due to the doing of the Grenadian people, because the Prime Minister is right when he says when they check the figures, Grenada don't have a pile of people that stay there. You know people from other Caribbean territories that have a problem. Every time they get a visa and they go, they forget it, they ain't coming back. They could go to a function in the United States and that is it, they ain't coming back in Grenada. They could go to participate in something in the United States and they ain't coming. That is not the case with Grenada. Grenada does not have that problem. You also do not have a pile of people who have left Grenada, gone to the United States, and found themselves on the other side of the law. So you don't have a set of Grenadians locked up in jail. Yes, you have some, but you don't have no pile of Grenadians like there are other countries I can call, which I choose not to call, in the region, that they probably have whole sections in the jail in the United States for that. You see any of them getting visa bond? You all know what countries are talking about. Two of the largest countries in the Caribbean right now. They have sections in them jail and them in the United States that they could just put up the flag of those countries because there's a pile of the people that up there. Grenada ain't not in that situation. You see them get visa bond? Grenada get visa bond. We don't have the amount of people that are overstaying as these countries, percentage-wise or otherwise. We don't have that. We don't have that large percentage of people locked up in the system in the United States that we sending down plane load of people in handcuffed to us here. We don't have that happening. Yet still we are facing this. So it must tell the intelligent people, it must tell people who understand what is going on that there are other things at play here. There are other reasons why we are finding ourselves in that situation. It must tell us that. Because as it is, Grenadians now have to find that money. We have to find it if we want to go in the United States. And in a 10-year visa you're getting, you know. You're getting a 3-month thing. Yeah, it's a 3-month visa you're getting. And then if you go and you don't find yourself on the other side of the law, you ain't get no ticket, you ain't go in no place, and you ain't end up leaving owing a pile of money and them kind of thing, then when you come back to Grenada, you will be refunded your money, but it's not immediate. From what I'm hearing, it could be as long as 5 to 6 months before you get your money back. It has to pass through the United States system. They have to check every way that you went to make sure that you don't owe. If you went and do medical, they have to make sure that all the bills paid there. They have to make sure that if you went in a hotel, the hotel bill is paid. Everything is paid. They have to verify before they give you back your money. So it's not immediate. You come back and you get back your 20,000 US. Yeah? This is the situation we have found ourselves in because of incompetent leadership. because of people that didn't realize when they were making those anti-American statements that it was not simply going to affect them alone, it was going to have an effect on all Grenadians, all Grenadian families. Because I can't think of any Grenadian family that does not have a family member in the United States at this point in time. As I was explaining to a regional person recently, there are two places you could hardly find a Grenadian family that don't have relatives. Grenadian families generally have relatives two places, in the United States and in Trinidad, and to a lesser extent the United Kingdom and Canada. But you always hear about they have the family in America, they have the family in Trinidad. That's two places all Grenadian families have connections, and many have in the UK and in Canada as well. But that's just the reality of the situation. The people ask you about the radar. You beat around the... Just tell them no. You beat around the bush, and then you go in and talking with the other regional leaders, and they patting you on the back. Boy, you're smart, we. Look how you get out of that. And not understanding that what the United States was doing, they was watching you, and they say, oh, so you want to operate with us. So now you writing them. You feel like going and respond to you? You feel they have time to go and answer you now? You feel they're bothering with you? Joke you're making. Joke you're making. Yeah? Joke they're making with that. And folks, we ain't opening the phone lines yet, man. I see one of the NDC people is continuing to try to call private as usual because they want to talk shoppiness and become an issue, but that is not going to happen here. Folks, remember your donations are just checked. It stands at $0.00. And I see the one on the live, just know when you donate on the live itself, on the chat there, in the YouTube, just know we're not seeing that, what you've donated there, we're not seeing that for the next 30 days. Yeah, we ain't getting that immediate. That's for the next 30 days. So that's why I encourage people to utilize the other facility and make the donations at the GoToFet or at the PayPal. All right, folks? Yeah, because when you donate there, we ain't seeing that until next month, around this time. Yes, indeed. So, folks, there's the other issue that has come about, and I want to go back to come forward too. Today, I was listening to the press conference of the government of Grenada as regards Global Petroleum Group, and they were making several statements about Global Petroleum. Oh, they've been involved for the last 18 years, and they've done nothing for the last 18 years, and they've breached. Folks, we've seen on the Bob Report recently, Global Petroleum Group talking about the fact that they have been approaching the government and not been receiving replies. They've been telling the government they're ready to work. They've been telling the government they have over $300 million ready to go, and the government has not been forthcoming with them. But I don't know how many of you remember that this is not the first time that is happening with the NDC government, and in particular involving Mr. V. Nazem Burke. Let me play a news story for you from the 6th of April, the year 2010. Yeah, going back in time. So I'll play a news story for you from GBN on the 6th of April, the year 2010.
Finance Minister Nazem Burke will seek to clear the air this evening on claims being made by a Russian group that they have a license to prospect for oil in Grenadian waters. The Russians are members of the Global Petroleum Group, and they say that they were granted a license by the former Keith Mitchell government. However, they claim that since the new Tillman Thomas regime took power in 2008, they've made several appeals for the go-ahead to start their work, but to no avail.
That song's very familiar, ain't it? 16 years ago, ain't it? And it sounds very, very familiar. You all hear something like that taking place recently?
On a recent edition of the Business Files program, which is aired every Thursday night on GBN TV.
According to the contract, we've prepared a report which we've submitted to the government. For the next stage of work, we've submitted an application for the entry of the seismic survey vessel. On the 10th, we've sent another request.
When was that first application sent in?
А когда была подана первая заявка?
16 месяцев назад.
16 months ago.
16 months ago.
16 месяцев назад.
So have you had any response from the government?
No, we're still waiting the reply from the government, and we are working within the framework of our license agreement.
Doesn't that sound very familiar?
According to the contract, we are, in accordance with the contract, we are only working with the specified government bodies.
На сегодняшний день это господин министр Буркин.
And at the moment, it's Minister Nazim Burke.
Their appearances follow a recent announcement by Foreign Affairs Minister Peter David that Grenada and Trinidad had settled on their maritime boundaries. During a news conference, Mr. David was asked about the claims being made by the Russians.
It's not an issue that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is quite au fait with. It's other ministries handle that issue, and no, that has little to do with boundary delimitation.
Yeah, Pedro take himself out of that one quick. And that was when he was Minister of Foreign Affairs under the NDC administration. This was the year 2010. He take himself out of that one quick.
That's another issue.
But my follow-up question to this is, have government met with the team as yet?
I have not met with them.
But you have, but they...
I have not met with them. I don't know if anybody else. I just came back into the country, but I certainly have not met.
And did your government receive a letter from these people saying that they're willing to lobby to explore for oil in Grenada? Because they claim that they have sent you your government letters and they're awaiting a response.
I am not aware of that.
The issue will be discussed on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program later on this evening.
So not later on this evening. That was 16 years ago. And the story, as happens now, is exactly the same, and it involves the same individual, V. Nazim Burke. And you have to ask yourself if there is something with the NDC administrations against that particular company, Global Petroleum Group, because it seems to be something that Nazim Burke has against Global Petroleum Group, and I wonder what that is, because I hear stories. So I wonder what that is, because there's something that I'll go hear about one of these days, and it go blow all your mind. That is the reason that there's that sort of behavior taking place. 16 years ago, they're talking about 18 years. Let me go. Because Global Petroleum Group in 2008, if I remember correctly, they had the agreement with the government of Grenada that they could go and do the exploration and so on. They were trying to follow up on that, but you know, the government changed in 2008. And when the government changed, Mr. Burke was the one that had to deal directly with Global Petroleum Group. Yeah? And the exact same thing that took place now, accusing them of not doing what they're supposed to do and giving all sorts of back and forth to let the time in which the people supposed to execute what they have signed to execute expires, and then accuse them of not doing what they're supposed to do. And we see it happening again under another NDC administration. So this was 16 years, and I have a lot more, you know, that comes up on, I could play a lot more when it comes to GPG from during the period of the last NDC administration. So when you hear them speaking now, I would simply go back in my files and pull up, I will simply go back in my files and pull up my files on what the last NDC had to say about the same Global Petroleum Group and how they also did exactly what they're doing now to that group. But this time, there will be serious consequences, and we have an Attorney General that has failed. In all she court case, she losing. The girl is not known as a winner. Yeah, now I understand why they didn't want to go into the Kimpton by Kawana thing. They didn't want to go in it because they know Claudette go lose. Apart from that, we hear that, another story with that too. But anyway.
A local company headed by a Russian is anxious to move ahead with oil exploration in 12 blocks of Grenada's waters.
So this is from December 2010. This one is from December 2010. So let's hear what they had to say there.
A local company headed by a Russian is anxious to move ahead with oil exploration in 12 blocks of Grenada's waters, which they say was contracted to them by government under the NNP administration. But there may not be a speedy answer from the new administration except something extraordinary happens. It could be up to a year before a decision is made on the way forward with Global Petroleum Group, as Attorney General Rohan Philip has described the matter of the oil exploration interest in the country as complex. Speaking exclusively with CC6 Newsnight on Thursday, Mr. Philip did not disclose details of discussions with GPG, but he says government has been speaking with the group.
I have met with them at least on 2 occasions. And we have had discussions. Whether they were or were not satisfied with the nature of the meetings, I don't know, but I have met with them at least twice.
Principals of GPG, a company registered in Grenada, whose chief executive is a Russian, have been in the...
And let me remind you all that the chief executive of it is not a Russian. Yeah? The man is actually a Cypriot. He's from Cyprus. He speaks Russian, as most of the people there, but he is not Russian. So they've been saying this thing for the last 16 years and it's not true. The man is a Cypriot. Yeah? He's not a Russian. Who is a Russian? Because they had to push that particular narrative at that point in time to make it into a negative. Yeah?
Island several times over the past year to have meetings with government officials, they have claimed. The group also said they have a contract with the government to conduct oil exploration work in the country's territorial waters.
A number of arrangements was entered into between the government of Grenada under the former administration and the company GPG. Those matters are in fact under consideration with this ministry and otherwise. And quite frankly, I will not be speaking beyond that at this moment. I am sure and I do appreciate the public's interest in this matter, but I wish to assure the public that we're doing all we can at this point. It's not that the matters are not being addressed, but they're complex matters, and with everything else that we're treating with, sometimes it takes a little longer than we would hope. But the matters have been addressed. They are under consideration.
Mr. Phillips says discussions with the group will, however, continue.
The nature of these matters is that it may take a year. You may have a breakthrough and it happens within weeks or months. We have been working on it and for a long while. I mean, since this administration have come to office, we have been treating with the matter with varying degree of intensity, as you would appreciate, because other things come and you have to give, priority to them and so on. But we are treating with it. It's matters we wish to bring closure to, and so we're making every effort to do that.
Earlier this year, in a private function at Spice Island Beach Resort, GPG disclosed what they say are some of the plans for oil exploration in Grenada. They are claiming that if their operations go according to plan, the country could be earning up to $9 billion per annum from its underwater resources.
In other words, Grenada, if the last NDC and the present NDC did not have something against that company, and it seems as though Mr. Burke personally has something against that company. Because when I heard the Prime Minister today talking and saying that all Grenadians must line up and agree with what he's doing, Mr. Prime Minister, you could go to hell with that. Who has to line up with you and agree with what you're doing? You're getting crazy, hard. Me lining up with you and agreeing with what you're doing because I have the information from years ago that there seems to be something personal between the NDC administrations and that company. When the NNP came back into office in 2013, the company re-engaged and the company went as far as drilling 2 wells. You heard them today trying to give the impression that the company lied. that the company didn't drill 2 wells. The company drilled 2 wells. One of the wells was successful. The other one, they didn't find anything, but one of the wells was successful. And don't think that the government doesn't know that. They know that. So when you hear Mr. V. Nazim Burke today name dropping, oh, we spoke to Exxon and we spoke to this one and he's name dropping, because that's what he was doing. They played a serious psychological game on the Grenadian people today, because they did all these sort of things like name dropping. So people could say, well, you mean British Petroleum and Exxon and them and Texaco and all of these people want to come into Grenada and these people blocking us? No, these people are not blocking. But what Mr. Burke failed to say was that all of those companies are interested in the very same 4 blocks that Global Petroleum Group has. Hence the reason government is trying to take those 4 areas away from them, as well as the other 6 or 7 that they also were supposed to start doing their exploration in. If from 2022, you wrote over 47 letters to the government of Grenada, and they claim that they didn't, listen, when I'm going to really have to do this program fully on Wednesday, because there's a lot of stuff that was said today that is straight out lie. Straight out. I have shown you the document here before, signed by the government representative, where they spoke of the, let me see if I can find it here, of receiving the documents. Let me see if I can get it here. Yeah. Just trying to find the document itself here. That was signed. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh boy, I most likely have it on the other computer, but I'll get it for the next program. Where you have the and I believe it was signed by Mr. Burke himself, where they acknowledge receipt of many of the documents, and they keep giving the impression that there are documents missing. Up to this present day, Deacon Amis Mitchell and Victor Nazim Burke have never publicly admitted that the Honorable Gregory Bowen was contacted and assisted them in finding all of the documentation that was still in the government service. He didn't have to go home and say, let me go and bring a bag and drop it for all you. He didn't have to say, let me go somewhere else and pick up a crate and drop it for you all. That all he had to do is tell them, well, you all check with the secretary, because these people didn't realize that if you're looking for documents in a particular ministry and there was a secretary there, that you should speak to that secretary to try and find out where documents are. So they did not speak to the secretary, and the secretary was able to tell them, look at that cupboard there, and they didn't even wait for key for it. They break it. They get something and break the cupboard and the filing cabinet and get the documents inside there. You also heard from Mr. Cadgington Hood that they won the election in June, and that by July he approached the government on behalf of Global Petroleum Group to present them with documentation. You heard Global Petroleum Group say they presented government with all information except one, which they said was very costly to obtain, and as such, due to the fact that they had already provided that to the government of Grenada, that they were asking the government of Grenada to pay for those documents because it was very costly to obtain. That was the only thing, that they provided all the information to the government of Grenada. But this government is playing like they don't know. You had the GG in the throne speech speaking about there's a mystery around Grenada's oil and gas. Absolute lie. Then you heard the Prime Minister saying, well, he don't know nothing about no documents and he don't know what the documents is. Then Mr. Bowen help him. He's never come out. That's going on 3 years now. He has never come out and admitted that they got the documents. In fact, now they're trying to continue putting forward that they did not receive the documents and they didn't get documents. Absolute madness. And now you go and you interfere, because even again, let me just point out another point here. I didn't do the clips with these things, so I don't have the clips ready at hand here. But you have the other one, where Mr. Burke was speaking, and he was saying things, and you have to understand the individual named Victor Nazim Burke. He says things in a way to create a particular impression, but he's using lawyer tactics. So this is the statement that he made, that the share purchase agreement between the government of Grenada and GPG gave GPG 70% and the government of Grenada 30%. So he made that statement, which is in fact a partially true statement. But he didn't go forward to clarify that that 30% increases by increments until you cross 50% as GPG makes back its money. Because they spent over 200 million. So whatever other money they would have spent to start pulling the natural gas out from Grenada's waters and selling it, they would have been getting 70%. The government of Grenada would have been getting 30% of the funds off of that, because Grenada didn't spend a single dime to go and find it or to take it out from the ground and refine it and so. Grenada didn't spend any money, but it's in Grenadian waters. So they would have been getting the 70%, Grenada getting 30%. Then, as they get more and more their money back, Grenada's percentage, let's say, raised to a 45%. Then it would have raised to a 50%, and then it would have go to a 60%, and GPG getting a 40%, or whatever it is. But Mr. Burke didn't say that. Instead of that, he just say, oh, the share purchase agreement said Grenada getting 30%, and GPG getting the rest. So all of his minions run out there now saying, but what kind of agreement is that? How you could be taking wheating and giving us only 30% without explaining what the share purchase agreement had in it properly for the people. Just to rile them up and give them the impression that, hey, boy, that's the kind of thing the NNP went and signed. That's the kind of thing. Then they're trying to talk about now, they're seeing where money came in. They're seeing how the money was used. That GPG gave to the government of Grenada. They forwarded money to the government of Grenada. They're seeing where the money came in. They're seeing the money referred to. They could see where the money was spent. But they're still saying they don't see cabinet conclusion that say, because they want to give the impression that somebody now take millions of dollars and run. Well, if somebody take millions of dollars and run, jail us. Because I was part of the administration too. If somebody take money and run, jail us. There's the kind of people that we're dealing with in this country right now. Desperation, because they're going around campaigning now. And the news don't come back to them that is out they're going. So they're trying to turn the Grenadian people now against the NNP by making it look like NNP was in some corrupt deal. And that is why I will ask this particular question. And it's a simple question that I'm going to ask, because if the answer to this question is in the positive, it gives me an idea of why Mr. V. Nazim Burke and the NDC of Tillman Thomas and of Deacon Mitchell, why they would have something against a particular group or individuals in a particular group. And the question is simply, during the last NDC term in office, if there was a situation where a group of individuals who were involved in business in Grenada visited Grenada and were at a hotel in the south of the island, and if while they were at that hotel in the south of the island, a senior police officer visited those individuals and brought with him documents just for these people to affix their signature to, accusing senior members of the New National Party of corruption. Things that the individuals who were asked to sign knew nothing about. They knew it was not true and they refused to sign it. Is that true? Did that actually happen? Could call police officer's name who was accused. That documents were written up accusing senior members of the NNP, and this took place under the Tillman Thomas administration. That is what we're hearing. So I'm asking the question, if it is true, that certain business people with interest in Grenada, non-Grenadians, were at a hotel in the south of the island, and that a senior police officer, a policeman, brought documents and tell them he had instructions to get them to sign that. And the people refused to sign because they knew what was contained in the document was not true. Because they were accusing senior members of the NNP of being involved in corruption. So they thought, no, we'll just draft this thing and get these people to sign it. Because the people wanted to conduct specific business in the state of Grenada. I say what I say is not true. I said what I said, say it is not true. And you all might have an understanding where I'm coming from, so you might understand why there are certain behaviors taking place now. You all will understand why some people might be treated in a particular way. Because if those people are asked to do certain things and they refuse to do that because they know it's not true. They know it's not true. But the desperation, that is why, more than likely, it's things like that Papa God watch all you and give all you have 15 nil in all your tail in 2013. And if all you don't look good, careful all you don't get it in 2026 again. Careful. You're talking about all you go get NNP 15 nil. All you better wake up from that dream. It's a nightmare. All you pee the bed. All you better wake up. That's a nightmare all you had it. That's not a dream. All you go get NNP 15 nil. NNPites, get ready. Watch every registration office. Keep your eyes on those registration offices. If the registration office is closed, let me know. Message me and say, Mr. Scott, I went there. In fact, just call me Sheldon. Mr. Scott was my father. Sheldon, we went there to register and we couldn't register. The place did close. Make a note of the day and the time that you went there and it did close. See if there's a sign there. And see what the sign says is the reason for the place being closed. And immediately get in contact with me. Let me know. Because the New National Party has a structure to address these things. We have competent people to address any issue like that. So any issue with your registration, any issue where you are seeing people who, when you hear the law and you understand the law, should not be registered in your area or not registered at all. Because I've been hearing you talk, oh, there's such a St. Lucian's register, there's such a Lucian's register. No, St. Lucian's can register to vote in Grenada, but they must be living here 12 months. So if you're seeing the St. Lucian's there and you say, okay, St. Lucian's, you have to check now to find out, have these people been living in Grenada for 12 months? If they're living in Grenada for 12 months, they could register. They're the same as if a Grenadian goes to St. Lucia, you live there for 12 months, you could, no, in their case it's 6 months. After 6 months, you can register. So they're even different to us. They didn't even say a year. They say 6 months you could live there and you could register to vote. But in Grenada's case, you have to live here 12 months and then you can register to vote. So we need to ask ourselves, what are we doing right now to ensure that we bring the victory home? Yeah? And I'm going to open the phone lines at this time. I'm going to let me open the phone lines. But y'all could call now, man. 440-7377, 440-7377. That is the number for you to call. You could call me direct. You could call me on the WhatsApp. Yeah, you could call me direct. We speak about Spice Mass. We speak about Marketing Board. We speak about the US Visa Bond and the closure of the embassy. We speak about GPG. All you could call. The phone line's open. 440-7377. I'm talking enough for now, man. All you call. Yeah?
All you like people business. All you interfere with the right man, yes. Fire for fire, man.
MF, good night to you, my dear. I hope you're having a wonderful one tonight. God, what you want to run Brother Cornwall for? Leave Brother Cornwall alone now. Hey.
Just because I sing in your calypso, all kind of wrong things about me people know. First they know some walking to one driving. Rumors all over about me they spreading. But I want them know that I'm conscious is Josh and bread. And no way hypocrites like them could ever frustrate.
Again, 440377. And folks, again, remember, let me check again. Let me see. 0. Nice. Yeah, it stands at 0 right now. Good. Donations. $20, $50, 100. If you have 10, we're taking it. 20, we're taking it. Yeah? I have to pay for the apps, and as I said, I only saw 2 donations coming in for the last 2 weeks on the GoToFet. I only saw 2 coming in the last weeks, and it wasn't even up to $50, so we were not able to pay for the apps this time around. There are other people that drop a little something here and there. We try to use that. We have to go and put that in the account to go and deal with that or other things. Yeah. So those of you that can, please do. We do need your support. Yeah, we need it.
Prostitution is a priority. Up to now that them bullets can see.
And let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Fadu,
hey,
brother.
What's up?
What going on there?
Yeah, man.
There are a lot of things up, you know.
man, I had to come on tonight. I couldn't avoid it.
I see that. That's solid.
You forced me out, boy.
You'll see. To add with what you're saying, I just seen some reports, right, where the US has decided to invest a substantial amount of money in, let's say, revamping the fiber optics cables underwater, the submarine cables. They're suggesting that it's possible for them to come under attack. They're saying that it's a deliberate attempt to block the Asian folks because they have access to these cables, and it might be something that could crash the economy and crash that kind of stuff. No, recently we just launched a data act here, right? Now I'm curious to know if this administration was privy to something like that before. I'm very, very curious to know. On top of that,
what I'll say is this though. Usually with those sort of acts like the data acts and so, they are not done in isolation. They are usually done on a regional level. So ECTEL, which is the regional body, may suggest to different countries that you do legislation along these lines. It is then up to the individual countries how they craft that legislation. So they don't hand you the legislation and say implement that. They say you need legislation to deal with this particular issue. And so you might see Grenada might have it and call it, for instance, Data Act. St. Lucia might have it and call it Data Implementation Act or something. So it has different names, different places. And usually one usually looks at the others, whoever do it first, or what exists in other territories, and creates theirs.
Okay.
So it may be that it is that take place because ECTEL may have had some info on that as well.
Okay. All right. So let's address some of the stuff you speak about tonight. Let's deal with remember a while back I had asked you about the Dangote dude, right? Remember that? You know the same name dropping that the Mr. Buck did.
A lot of name dropping, huh?
Right. You know some of those people are direct ops of Mr. Dangote. Because based on the refinery that he just developed in Nigeria, he's able to handle a lot more than some of those individuals as it stands. Also, looked at that thing with the PM and Mr. Buck. Oh my days, like it's frustrating to see grown people lying so rough. And I say lie, plain talk, bad manners, fabrication of terminological inexactitudes. Bro, I'm looking at the GrenadaOilFiles.com. I'm looking at that site, reading the PDF files.
And that's just some of the files from what we're hearing.
And that's just some. That's from 2003 up to 2026, bro. Or 25, 26, yeah. Well, because they put a notice saying that they want the PM and stuff to withdraw what they're saying, because you know what I mean, they will take legal actions and all that. It's on the page right now, it's on the site right now. But while I'm looking at the stuff, I think it was on GBN, they were covering it. I'm seeing these individuals talking in the comments. I know you normally say don't pay attention to the comments, but some of these people, you see, they use all that as a catalyst, you know. So it's like, ignorance is bliss. I get that, but it's frustrating with grown people, bro. Like adults, bro.
Let me tell you this though. For the last 2 to 3 weeks, if you look under, for instance, when Shaggy is doing his program in the morning, you look under the comment section there. You look under the comment section on GBN, MTV, all these places. You'd recognize there are some profiles, some of them without a picture, some of them with no picture of a person, with 4 or 5 friends, or as much as 30 friends. And nobody has just 30 friends on Facebook these days, but 30 friends, and that were created within the last 6 months. And all they're doing is cuss all NNP and praise NDC.
Yeah.
So he realizes
one
person sometime, and they have about 4 or 5 of these accounts doing this nonsense. So I mean that should have no effect on thinking people.
Listen, I find them people and they need to be better, brother. They're doing too good right now. The PM and his group, all they need to shape up, bro. I'm tired of this lies. Bro, I'm fed up with the lies, man. It's understandable people could make mistakes. We could understand that as Grenadians, bro. Nobody perfect, but all they're taking a piss, fam. Real talk. I'm fed up with the lies, bro. Like how much more they could take, how much more, bro.
And it's the thing, because they're lawyers, they say things in a particular way, like why I pointed out with the 30% there.
Well,
they say things in a particular way so that it gives an impression to the nation. So all Grenadians run out to the thing now, NNP sign away everything for 30%.
Some bites, yes.
But that is not the reality. And then if you corner him afterwards and you say, well, you said this and this is not true, he's going to come out and say, well, no, I didn't say that. This is what I said, 30%. And afterwards, then he would explain. But he goes and he says things in a particular way, so everybody grab that and go.
Well, I was kind of disappointed in some of the journalists that was there, that they didn't have follow-up questions based on the evidence that they have and they were privy to. That pissed me off again. It's like, what are you doing from corner the Monday right now? You get me?
No.
And I ain't seen that.
Before you go further, there is something I want to say, as you reminded me of it as you said that, and I had to make a note to speak about that one. I'm disappointed in the following persons: Kalistra Faria and Hamlet Mark. The rest of the journalists, they are young journalists. I don't expect too much from them. But as senior people, especially in the person of Hamlet Mark, he should not go into a press conference. The Prime Minister and them say, we only talking about that. And you sit down there. No, you're the Prime Minister of the country. When I get a chance to question you, you can't tell me what I must ask questions about alone.
Exactly.
You have to give me the opportunity to ask questions about. I mean, here it is. We have the situations with the US. You cannot
so much for transparency, brother.
And tell me that I can't ask any question now. On that, you can't tell me that.
Father, I tell you, everything compromised from why looking at it. From my bird's eye view.
Look what they had to
do. Everything compromising.
They had to wait until the press conference finished to try and corner to ask questions about that. Now, I know back in the days, I know that journalists would have staged a walkout in something like that. That when you walk, you telling us we can't. You mean it has so much topical issues to ask about, and you telling us this is all we can ask about? Could I get up and walk out? But no, it has got to the stage now that it seems as though a lot of people have been
compromised.
The gonads have been removed. I'll put it that way. The gonads have been removed.
Cover the compromise too. Yeah. Top 10.
So now it is a situation where they seem to be afraid to challenge power. Well, bro, and look who they're afraid to challenge. I mean, guys were afraid.
But bro, Fadu, I did tell you, I keep mentioning this. The man say, I must say, one party state, yeah? I must keep pushing that. Don't sleep on that part. That's why I asked you the question about if there's any way to suspend the elections and all of that, because I don't see it. You know what? Let me leave it that day. Yeah, let somebody else get a chance. Fadu.
All right, Fadu.
Listen, you remember when I puts up more day, you see how it does materialize, yeah?
We go talk, Fadu. Bless up.
Yeah, more time, see.
Respect. Yeah, man. Yes, indeed, coach.
They come out to destroy me with their cheap lyrics. My children, mother too, they make fault for it. Because she
4407377. You can call me directly or you can call me on the WhatsApp. The WhatsApp is always clear, right? I don't know how you could have a press conference. People getting the opportunity. You just hear this thing about US Embassy closing. You know that they're supposed to be getting deportees. You having problems with people the road down in the south of the island, all kind of thing. You the Minister of Infrastructure, and you go come and tell me all I could do is stick to it. Nah, man. Out of order. Out of order. Yes, indeed. We have a caller line. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. How are you doing?
Quite fine. Go right ahead, caller.
Yeah. Sheldon, we have 2 persons on the press conference. The Prime Minister, and that's book one, must lie, about to lie. And Sheldon, the Minister of Finance in 2008 to 2013 under the NDC administration was Nazim Bok. I remember the issue with Grindberg. When Grindberg sued Grenada CARICOM PT-Matic. What the minister say, let Grindberg go ahead and sue. They don't go ahead and sue Grenada. Who had also put up the money to go and fight the case in England and be victorious, be victorious against Grindberg is NNP. NNP had to do it.
No. Let's make this clear. Not NNP. Gregory Bowen, and he still ain't get back his money.
Yeah, exactly. Gregory
Bowen used his own money to do this thing.
Yeah.
The man was the Minister of Finance. He don't say pay himself. He still didn't pay himself as Minister of Finance, leave office, and still ain't get paid up to this day.
Exactly. So you see definitely who care about the people who are going to compete Matic. NNP have the caring party. And when Grenada in trouble, NNP out of government, they rescue Grenada from the amount of money they would have paid. Because the Minister of Finance at the time, or Nazim Bok, and he said, let the Grindberg go ahead. Or because of the care of Gregory Bowen, for the people going to compete Matic, he's taking more. And I know they was talking about the same case. Up now, he didn't pay him back a cent. Right? Because he in that book comment talking about our island gas. Nazim Bok should be ashamed to talk about it. And when you have people that lying, they will always get liars. The Prime Minister must lie, so they get someone, Nazim Bok, to lie with him. I want to say to the people going to carry competing Matic, that press conference today was a set of lies, because we know, we have some knowledge of the group that was drilling for that island. We have some knowledge about that. So everything they can come and lie and fool.
Listen, the people have actually, if you go online, Fadu mentioned it a while ago, there's a website. You can go to the website, you can find a lot of the documents, not all, but just some, a selection of some of the documents that they sent to the government of Grenada, to the Attorney General, to the oil group, to the Prime Minister, a selection of documents they sent to these people. And the law that directs this thing does not speak of any group as what Nazim Bok is leading. It speaks of the minister. They did not have to deal with the group according to law. They had to deal with the minister. Yeah. But they went ahead and they dealt with the group, but the group was not dealing with them.
So the company write letters to the government. But is the government at fault? Is them the one that not responding because they have the aim also get rid of the company.
So as I've pointed out, this is not the first time that the NDC government has done that to that specific company. There is a reason that they have a grudge. There is a grudge. Let me use the word, a grudge against GPG. There is a grudge against them. It showed itself in the last NDC and it's showing itself in this one.
Yeah. What they want you to do, you don't do it. So they have a problem with you. What I want to say, what they need actually, you must come to the light, and it is coming to the light. The people are going to carry computer mathematics. We know the truth. And thank God for the program, Shell, for your program and other program that bringing the truth and to the people going to carry Peter Matic. The children have a blessing.
All right, my brother. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're going old school tonight. Four 4407377 is a grudge thing. But you see, the grudge thing now had the possibility of making us, the Grenadian people, had to pay billions of dollars in restitution. Because we have an incompetent we have an incompetent attorney general, so we know what has happened. We have a caller line. Hello, good night.
Sharon, good night.
Good night, my dear. You go right ahead.
You see these clips and videos you have there?
I have a lot more on GPG to play. No?
Here what I'm about to tell you. Just make sure, I'm begging, make sure it is properly archived and secured.
Well, we think I'm telling people to give the look at 20 and the look at 10 for nobody bothering with me. I check just now again. Zero.
Right now you're holding a sledgehammer. You're holding a sledgehammer. They would try their best, I know, they would try their best to see how they can get it, what they would do to alter it, to change it, because they will do anything. Sheldon, right now they will do anything to see how they could discredit you with this important information. But I know you. I know you, Sheldon. Sheldon, you have to secure that. We need it. We need it. As I said,
my friend,
it is a sledgehammer for them. You're going to mash them up with that.
I doesn't bad beg. When I beg is because I know I have to do certain things. Now, to store certain things, you can't store it physically alone because one incident could happen and everything goes. So you have to store it online.
Exactly. But you're smart. You're very smart.
No, hold on. But to store it online costs money that I have to pay on a monthly basis, as well as the security for the computer itself that you're using to store stuff and to put stuff online. You have to make sure that you pay for your security for those things as well. And I'm saying that's why I'm telling people, pay the little 10, the little 20 and so, pay it to the Go-To-Fed. I will be able to handle those things. When they don't do that, I can't do it. I have to store it, otherwise
so that's why
in danger. So yeah.
Yes. So that's why now I would call on the NMP supporters, those who really want to have that program going. Please, you all hear Sheldon explain how it is important for him to have this document properly secured. So I'm making a special appeal now on behalf of him to donate. Please donate. Please donate. Please donate so he will do what is right to have this document in the right place.
I have
because we will need
more.
them. We will need them.
I have several more I will be playing next week because there is a pattern. Because when you listen to the complaints of GPG in 2010 and you listen to the complaints of GPG in 2026, 16 years later, involving the same V. Nazem Burke, you realize it's the exact same thing happening again. The exact same thing. Listen,
so Doug didn't make a mistake when he styled him as Born to Lie.
But again, they are saying a set of stuff that is untrue or misrepresenting, purposely misstating or misrepresenting certain things. They're doing it for spite. They know what they're doing, and they're looking to do that now during the carnival season because they probably say, well, okay, them boy ain't go bother to say nothing on that now. If you respond by tomorrow is Thursday, most people go on, I mean not everybody, because a good portion of the listeners to this program don't bother with carnival. They ain't going out to no fete and that kind of thing. But the mere fact that it is carnival time and you might have family coming in that visiting with you and so on, you may not pay as much attention as you usually pay to different things. So it might be lost in the carnival season. Because even if you're a church goer and you don't go to carnival, your relatives from Canada and from Trinidad and from the United States and the UK, they're here. They come in, so they want to spend time with you. They want to take you out to dinner in the night. They want to go on Grand Anse Beach. And you don't have time to sit down now and listen to the program. So even people who don't take part in carnival, that's the reason I kind of stop around now. I know that they have family around and things and they may not be able to participate. That's why I held off the program for now. But while I hold off, don't think I ain't recording and I ain't digging for my information and so on. I'm well pulling up thing. You know? And that is how it is.
Sheldon, Sheldon, just do what you have to do.
Yes, indeed.
Somehow I feel let's say, we're in the heat of the carnival now. After the carnival, you see, after tonight's program,
when the carnival
and after the
over,
carnival, when the carnival over, you're going to see they're doing some retracking on that press conference they had today.
Well,
just remember I say that.
These people don't retract anything, you know. Remember, these are people that go in parliament and say big dogs and then they say big boys. These are people that does never retract. These are people that does cuss police officers, men and women of the Royal Canadian Police Force.
When I say retract, they would come. They would be plucky enough to say they didn't say that. That wasn't said. They'll be plucky enough.
Well, they could pull
because the thing about it is that they don't think. Sheldon, they don't think before they speak, and that is their big problem. They don't think before they speak.
Oh boy! All right, okay, my dear. Well, you have a wonderful one.
Anyhow,
have a safe carnival. Even though you might not take part in it, have a safe carnival.
Informed. Just keep us informed, Sheldon. We're depending on you. Just keep us informed.
Just know that.
Have a good night.
Just know that Wednesday night program will be hot.
Yeah, man.
All right, my dear. You have a good one.
When the carnival over.
All right. 4407377. I think I missed a call on the direct line. Call back. 4407377. Remember, you can call us on the WhatsApp. You can call us directly. Mr. Hossein don't want to pull out, you know. Yeah. Mr. Hossein going in Kuwait and the man didn't want to pull out, no?
Good night.
Hi, good night. How are you doing?
I'd really miss your appearance.
Okay, sorry about that, but you know. Well, go right ahead, my dear.
Sheldon.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, you weren't hearing me? You go right ahead, my dear. We're hearing you.
Sorry.
No, the phone has a little issue, but you go right ahead.
All right, I'm very happy tonight that I see you, and your appearance is always good to me.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Sheldon, let me tell you, Nazim, the Prime Minister, get another liar to lie with him. And there are many, many more liars he gonna get with him. Because the wickedness that they're doing, they're trying to see how they can spite other people, but they're spiting themselves. Something else I want to see. I'm happy that the people and them that in the diaspora, they come in because the amount of lie they get to say, talk about Grenada and people in Grenada, where they doesn't live in Grenada, and they just come in now and hearing what they say and making people feel that Grenada everything is nice and dandy. I'm so happy that they come in, and I want them playing the mud from Grand Anse to right up to the Carnage. I want them playing them out. Like long ago when trying to take out their shoes and go and walk and get up to and wash it. That's what they do because they're too wicked-minded.
Well, let me just say all.
If you live here and you talk about something that you see, it's all right.
But let's not say all of them. Some of them, because let me tell you something, Emma. There's a misunderstanding that somehow the NDC are more supporting the diaspora than the NNP. That is not true, you know. That is not true. The NDC are more noisy. They go jump online and cuss you.
Yes.
They go do, but they do have more of them out in the diaspora than it have NNPites.
You could see in the town hall meeting how it was. And they line and say, if old people here, they are not going to. Don't worry them. They're trying to see they could confuse people's mind, but they can't confuse my mind.
So what you know?
They are on the ground and I know.
Let me ask you a question. Old people doesn't vote?
Huh?
Old people don't vote?
Well, I don't understand. I don't understand.
So they say basically they don't want no old people voting for them. So anybody over the age of, let's say over the age of 65 should not vote for them.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And the thing about it, the other one that keeping silent and you hear him out, he is a tricky trying, you know, because you want to give the other NDC, the people, the population, what he gathering.
Mm-hmm.
But he can't make it. So that's why he playing silent. When he's silent, you know, the dog is at him. He like a man, you know, dog at him. Have a pleasant night, Sheldon. I so love when I hear you talking.
All right, my dear, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Let me say good night to my good friend Anne-Marie out there in New York. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight, Anne-Marie. Oh, goodness, yes, indeed. 4407377. Let me hear from you. Now I'll stay a little past the 10 o'clock hour and giving you the opportunity to call. They say, well, it's best they didn't have regatta in Caracou this year, Papa. And folks, remember the carnival season. Be careful on those roads, eh? Be careful on the roads. Remember once I got into an accident. Well, not me that caused the accident, but the person was so accustomed driving on the other side of the road. They went and they drink the thing and they bounce my vehicle, you know. So be careful out there. And yes, while we're minding their business, we have to mind we own, yeah? Because this thing, there's a statement that was made by the Prime Minister where they said, the Attorney General, where they were saying that they basically don't have to bother to respond to Global Petroleum. They're in effect saying that they are going to allow this thing to go to arbitration and then end up in the courts, eh? They're saying that. And then at the end of the press conference, the very end of the press conference, the Prime Minister starts speaking as, well, if they could prove this and they could prove the people been trying to meet with the Prime Minister for 4 years. They're trying to meet with him. 4 years they're trying to meet with the Prime Minister. 4 years they're sending information and they can't get through. Yeah? 4 years. But as I told you all, this is not the first time. Some people may become late. So let me play them two things again. Some people may have come late. So let me play them thing again. Yeah?
A local company headed by a Russian is anxious to move ahead with oil exploration in 12 blocks of Grenada's waters, which they say was contracted to them by government under the NNP administration. But there may not be a speedy answer from the new administration except something extraordinary happens. It could be up to a year before a decision is made on the way forward with Global Petroleum Group, as Attorney General Rohan Philip has described the matter of the oil exploration interest in the country as complex. Speaking exclusively with CC6 Newsnight on Thursday, Mr. Philip did not disclose details of discussions with GPG, but he says government has been speaking with the group.
I have met with them, at least on 2 occasions. And we have had discussions. Whether they were or were not satisfied with the nature.
And just so folks wondering who may have joined us late, this is under the Tillman Thomas administration, and this is in December of the year 2010, 16 years ago. The same GPG having the same problems.
Of the meetings, I don't know, but I have met with them at least twice.
Principals of GPG, a company registered in Grenada, whose chief executive work in the country's territorial waters.
Oh boy, and that's when you decide to call. No, not now. You can't call me on video day now. Yeah, let me just get this back, folks. Yeah, one of my good friends is trying to reach me there. I have to sign out here. Yeah, one of my good friends. They find 10 o'clock. Off air. No, I'm not off air yet. I am not off air yet. So let me get this back. Nice. Let me get that there. Right. Let me move that and let me put this back here. Nice. So, no, you move from there. Nice, right? Let me go back to meeting.
And we have had discussions. Whether they were or were not satisfied with the nature of the meetings, I don't know, but I have met with them at least twice.
Principals of GPG, a company registered in Grenada, whose chief executive is a Russian, have been in the islands several times over the past year to have meetings with government officials, they have claimed. The group also said they have a contract with the government to conduct oil exploration work in the country's territorial waters.
A number of arrangements was entered into between the government of Grenada under the former administration and the company GPG. Those matters are in fact under consideration with this ministry and otherwise. And quite frankly, I will not be speaking beyond that at this moment. I am sure.
Well, at least the Attorney General now speaking beyond that, eh? So this was the Attorney General under the Tillman. Yeah, by that time they'd get rid of Bristol already. Yeah, they done fire him and all kind of thing. Poor Mr. Bristol. Anyway, they'd fire him and thing. So this was is Rohan, however his name was? Yeah, that was the Attorney General at that point in time, eh?
And I do appreciate the public's interest in this matter, but I wish to assure the public that we're doing all we can at this point. It's not that the matters are not being addressed, but they're complex matters, and with everything else that we're treating with, sometimes it takes a little longer than we would hope. But the matters have been addressed, they are under consideration.
Mr. Phillips says discussions with the group will, however, continue.
The nature of these matters is that it may take a year, you may have a breakthrough, and it happens within weeks or months. We have been working on it, and for a long while. I mean, since this administration have come to office, we have been treating with the matter with varying degree of intensity, as you would appreciate, because other things come and you have to give, priority to them and so on. But we are treating with it. It's matters we wish to bring closure to, and so we're making every effort to do that.
Earlier this year, in a private function at Spice Island Beach Resort, GPG disclosed what they say are some of the plans for oil exploration in Grenada. They are claiming that if their operations go according to plan, the country could be earning up to $9 billion per annum from its underwater resources.
So if the Tillman Thomas NDC didn't play the fool with the people, and the present NDC didn't come back and play the fool with the people, we could have been into production now, because remember, it is under the NNP that they were given the go-ahead to continue, and then they were able to actually find they were able to actually find not oil, just not a little bit of oil, but gas that could be produced. Yeah? So it's not the first time that these people going through this kind of thing under an NDC administration, and you have to understand, it's a grudge thing.
A Russian group that they have a license to prospect for oil in Grenadian waters. The Russians are members of the Global Petroleum Group, and they say that they were granted a license by the former Keith Mitchell government. However, they claim that since the new Tillman Thomas regime took power in 2008, they've made several appeals for the go-ahead to start their work, but to no avail. They appeared on a recent edition of the Business Files program, which is aired every Thursday night on GBN TV.
According to the contract, we've prepared a report which we've submitted to the government for the next stage of work. We've submitted an application for the entry of the seismic survey vessel. On the 10th, we've sent another request.
When was that first application sent in?
А когда была подана первая заявка?
16 месяцев назад.
16 months ago.
16 months ago.
16 месяцев назад.
So have you had any response from the government?
No, we're still waiting the reply from the government, and we are working within the framework of our license agreement. According to the contract, we are, in accordance with the contract, we are only working with the specified government bodies.
На сегодняшний день это господин министр Буркин.
And at the moment, it's Minister Nazim Burke.
Their appearances follow a recent announcement by Foreign Affairs Minister Peter David that Grenada and Trinidad had settled on their maritime boundaries. During a news conference, Mr. David was asked about the claims being made by the Russians.
It's not an issue that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is quite au fait with. It's other ministries handle that issue, and no, that has little to do with boundary delimitation. That's another issue.
But my follow-up question to this is, have government met with the team as yet?
I have not met with them.
But you have, but they...
I have not met with them. I don't know if anybody else. I just came back into the country, but I certainly have not met.
And did your government receive a letter from these people saying that they're willing to lobby to export for oil in Grenada? Because they claim that they have sent you your government letters and they're awaiting a response.
I am not aware of that.
The issue will be discussed on GBN's.
And don't think we don't have that Beyond the Headlines program as well, where he was speaking about that. So we have the documentation. It is not a first time that this thing is taking place, and it involves the same individuals. In fact, if you all remember, under the last NDC administration, there was a particular point in time that the then finance minister, we know only one person was the finance minister during that period of time, from what we were hearing, said that they received a threatening email. I remember that one, right? They received a threatening email, and when they traced the origin of the email, it was a Russian email. Now, pray tell, these people they keep describing as Russians are not Russians. They are from Cyprus, yeah? And the people in Cyprus tend to speak Russian, so they speak Russian, but they are from Cyprus. These individuals, yeah, were accused of having sent that threatening email to Mr. Burke, threatening himself and his family. And for an extended period after that, it had a lot of police surrounding the then finance minister because they were accusing people in the same GPG. That is what you were hearing. That is GPG that was gangster in them and all sorts of nonsense. Yeah? So don't think what you see happening there happening. They're trying to look after the interests of Grenada and so on. It's a grudge thing. I'm telling you straight, it's a grudge thing. They could say it how they want, they could spin it how they want. The Prime Minister don't even know what he's involved in. Coming to tell people, yeah, you could go and speak to Parliament about it. That don't change the fact that Grenada going and end up in court for much more money than was the Kimpton Kawana, and you went and you settled that. Because you didn't want to go to arbitration, you didn't want to go to these things because you know in your mind that Grenada would have win and you would have looked bad. But then when you have that person as Attorney General, you might have lose. So it's a good thing all it didn't go. But it's a bad thing we had to spend a set of money. Yeah? Well, you're lucky I doesn't come press conference. You know, I must start a come press conference. Yeah, set up myself. I'm journalist. It's the thing I could come at press conference. I must start to come press conference too. Folks, That's all the time we taking for tonight. Yeah. To go and call back my friend Toppy. Yes. Friends, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you, and everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. And folks, please, please, I want you all to have a safe, those of you that are going to the carnival events, have a safe and enjoyable carnival season. Please. Yeah, because I'm seeing some behaviors out there. I'm seeing some kind of driving out there and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's okay to enjoy yourself, but you see the drinking and the totally drunk and trying to drive and all that kind of thing. Yeah, you're not only endangering yourself, you're endangering every other person on the road and even people off the road. Because when you run off into somebody's place, the person could be taking no part in carnival, lie down, sleeping in the place, and your vehicle end up in there and do something to them. Yeah? So we want all of you to be very safe and to think before you act in whatever you're doing for the carnival season. Those of you that are going to the shows, I do hope that you enjoy yourselves in all the activities that you go to. Those of you that are visiting and going to the different beaches and the beaches and waterfalls and all the different, I want you all to enjoy yourselves as much as possible. But remember, some of us, we still have school books to buy, eh? You know me. But we still have school books to buy. Yeah? We have school books to buy, we have uniform and thing to buy. So don't go in all them show and them and spend how much money to go in them show, and then afterwards you want to come and say, Mr. Scott, can you help me? And then he was playing fancy mass in this band for how much $1,000. Don't come with that, eh? Nice. Right. So folks, do enjoy the rest of your night. And as I said, in everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to you and with you, and definitely not about you. Love you all.
Mix up childhood days with old tradition. No. But certain things children must go through before they turn man and woman. Instead is weapons that in the hands of the little ones. This make me wonder, this make me cry blood. When I remember how we used to play in the moonlight from the place. Children roasting corn and we singing song and we shaking up we waist. All this little celebration got gone. Little children recreation got gone. It's killing is sex, high fashion clothing. This is what little children studying. Little children days are in danger. You can't talk to them now, they want to chop. They no longer play marble and spin top. Little children days are in danger. Some of them don't walk with the stingray bone. They don't play marral, hopscotch and pongstone. Little children days are in danger. No television messing up the mind. Love is falling and hate continue to climb. Little children days are in danger. All the pain is a mother and a father.
It's no more Mary, Mary, white and cherry. How does your garden grow? With silver bells and copper shells and pretty maids all in a row.
I will never go abroad and talk my own country bad. No. But I will never deny the fact that cost of living is hard. But mental bondage is the first thing we have to approach. Development must come from all sources. When I remember how we used to tell many stories in the yard, and children they used to appreciate whatever their parents had. Days we used to cook by grandma. That gone. Eat dumpling and taste so strong. That gone. It's killing is sex, high fashion clothing. This is what little children studying. Little children days are in danger. They dressing with big pants that falling down. They don't play banjo, shak shak and they jump. Little children days are in danger. smoke and catch a high. Little children days, oh God. But we cannot blame the children alone. Just remember charity begins at home. Little children days are in danger. All the pain is a mother and a father.
Remember when Jack and Jill went up a hill to fetch a pail of water? Then Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
I will never disrespect the world of technology. No. But some don't seem to appreciate when they get things too easy. The security for all the public facility is community responsibility. When I know how people used to go just to make a simple call, now today children they have public phone and they still mashing up all. Children now they go to garden, that gone. They don't make no flute with bamboo, that gone. This killing is sex, high fashion clothing. This is what little children studying. Little children days are in danger.
All the pain is a mother and a father.
You can't talk to them now, they want to chop. They no longer play marble and spin top. Little children days are in danger.
All the pain is a mother and a father.
Some of them don't walk with a stingray bone. They don't play marble, hopscotch and pongstone. Little children days, oh God.
All the pain is a mother and a father.
No television messing up the mind. Love is falling and hate continue to climb. Little children days are in danger.
All the pain is a mother and a father. Ring on roses, pocket full of posies. Ashes, ashes, all down.
No offense to maturity at an early age. No. But parents must try to bend the tree before it gone past its stage. Love to the max and teach them the facts, all that they should know. Both yesterday, today and tomorrow. I know children before used to get up and give old people their seat. But today children they just cross their feet treating old people like all the respect for the elders. That gone. Children now don't have no manners. That gone. This killing is sex, high fashion clothing. This is what little children studying. Little children days are in danger. They dressing with big pants that falling down. They don't play banjo, shack, shack and they jump. Little children days are in danger. They don't say good morning, neither goodbye. They look into drink, smoke and catch a high. Little children days, oh God. But we cannot blame the children alone. Just remember charity begins at home. Little children days are in danger. All the pain is a mother and a father. Children are born, but children are feeling. For some the parents are not television. Oh little gorgeous, you are so gracious. Why live a life of the jealous and the mad house?